Welcome to the Discovery series, and this is a session number 2 for the day, and where I will be sharing details about SharePoint List and Power Automate integration, how we can integrate get flows with the SharePoint List and SharePoint Online. And so, about me, I'm a Microsoft MVP for Office Apps and Services since 2015, and I'm also an MCT regional lead. Right now, I'm working with Olive & Goose as a senior Microsoft consultant and working with US-based customers, and also work with a couple of Fortune 500 companies there. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on Twitter, on my blog, where we post a couple of articles for other authors there, and also on our FB pages and LinkedIn pages. And if you want to speak with us in future events, you can also coordinate with me, reach out to me, and we can work together for those sessions. Let's go. And before jumping into the session, there will be Maghrib prayer will be starting soon. So I will pause for a minute during the Azan time. And now the agenda for today is that I will share an overview about my SharePoint list, that what's different and what's new in the SharePoint list. And then I will be discussing about the site content, that what is site content and its types, and so that we can go further on the details. And then I will give a quick overview about Power Automate, that how it helps you to create the workflows, the business processes for you, and for different tools, like we will use it in SharePoint for today. And then I will walk through you with the SharePoint flow, Power Automate flow approval process on the SharePoint list. We will be using an out-of-the-box template, but I will also show you that how you can create your own custom activities and can create a separate custom flow on that one. And we'll also discuss, if we got some time, that we will also discuss about some of the list customizations. Now, something about the Discovery series, that in this series of events, we have discussed first, in the first series, we discussed about the Microsoft 365 dApp tenant, where I told you about what's available on the dApp tenant and how to create a dApp tenant. Like Manpreet was also shared the details about the dApp tenant, which is helpful for you to play around with the graph APIs. And similarly, you can use the same dApp tenant. And after that, I share the details about information architecture on a SharePoint site, why you need that. And after that, we discuss about the site security, how to manage security at the tenant level and also at the site level, and went through the details about it. Today, we will be discussing about list and Power Automate flow, and in next sessions, we will be discussing more details about Power Automate integration with Microsoft Forms and lists. And then we will jump into the dev track, that how SPFX is working and how to use PNP modules with the SharePoint framework. Okay, so let's jump into the SharePoint list here. I'm just turning off my video here. So SharePoint list is basically a container which saves the content in a tab, in a rows and columns manner, just like a database table. In SharePoint, a list allows you to organize the information dynamically and flexible. You can create a list from scratch, or you can use already listed templates. And as I mentioned, that list is a collection of data documents. So there are two types of content in SharePoint. One is called the documents. Documents could be a file, Office file, a PDF file, or a video file. And the collection of data is just like a tabular data which you have. Once you have created a SharePoint list, you can add the columns to it and create multiple views to view, where you can group by the data either by dates, by weeks, by departments, whatever the columns you have created. And there are a few out-of-the-box columns available with the list, and you can create further based on your requirements. And when we talk about the modern list, it allows people to collaborate directly from their teams. So you can create the Microsoft list using Teams, and And also you can easily access them on your mobile devices because these are very responsive and their new templates have been created based on the different day-to-day requirements, like creating issue tracking lists or flight yeah, I would say that flight lists. These type of components are available directly as a built-in templates, but you can also customize those based on your requirements. And in past, we were using the SharePoint lists, which are not the, which are, we have limited template like the calendar list, announcement list, or custom list we create based on the requirements. But now we have a very rich UI and user-friendly components available for them in the modern list. And if we discuss about the security for these lists, it's the similar security which we have in past with the where we can have the security custom security at the list level, where you can allow few users to modify the content and few users only to review the content. And you can also customize the security at the item level. What is the item? Is there any data which you have added on a list? Either if you have uploaded a document and you want to restrict the access for users and only allow a few users can view the document, or a few users can modify the document. This was discussed in detail in last session, but I'm just giving an overview if you have missed the last session. And so this is a quick overview about the SharePoint list, and I will walk through the list shortly with you guys on a SharePoint channel. And if we discuss about the Power Automate, this is a business process which in past version of SharePoint we call it Flow, but in modern it is integrated not only with SharePoint but with other multiple tools, and also you can engage it with your premier connectors with the third-party components like external databases and other tools. So Power Automate, and it was formerly known as Flow, and it's an online tool which is available with Microsoft 365 applications. And if you are creating your dev tenant, which will give you E5 licenses, and I think 25, it will give you 25 total licenses, which will also include E3 licenses, and you can easily play around with this one. And it is used to Power Automate used to, for the creation of automated workflows between apps and services to synchronize files, and allows you to get notifications or users to, for sending notifications and collect data from them. Like if you are submitting some requests and you need some input from the users, you can use Power Flows, and I can also get the information from the users. I will show you an example similar to this one during our demo. That's how we take the input from the users. And here I'm just sharing an screenshot and some details that automate quickly and more securely, that that you can empower everyone to build automate processes and using low code and drag and drop tools and also hundreds of pre-built-in connections, or you can call it connectors, that we can use the different repetitive tasks like approvals, or you want to send email notifications. If someone is not available, you want to escalate the task. Those are the pure areas where the workflows are working. And even if you have a requirement to break the permissions for a SharePoint list item or component like that, you can also call the REST calls. And with the help of REST calls, you can also use REST calls can also be called for other third-party components also for performing different actions. Like if you're using workflow, you can also create a Microsoft team if you have a business. I'm just giving you a scenario that how it works. That you have a requirement that whenever a new project is start, it will add the members. You will select member, you will input a form which will get the list of members, and will get an approval from 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 your IT team, and then we'll create a Microsoft team for you users and with a specific template. So these all can be done using Microsoft team, different activities from the Microsoft team. And even you can also create an automation which as equal to or better than AI Builder, which is a separate tool available for fetching the form information, and it's and to quickly process the forms and the approval process. And and so let's jump into the our demo now. I'm just hoping it at my end. I'm sharing another screen with you guys. I hope you can see the screen now. So I'm now on a SharePoint site. Just before that, I'm just jumping to the SharePoint Admin Center here to show you again a little overview that how it is working. So here we have a list of sites created, and so sorry, I went to the SharePoint Admin Center. Oh, sorry, Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Let me jump in back to SharePoint Admin Center. So here you will see all the Admin Center for the Microsoft 365 tenant, and I'm jumping to SharePoint. I was looking at some other thing. And also, let me share it. I will open a site which I use for most of my demos. And this is also a demo tenant, which I created using developer.microsoft.com. And the URL was shared earlier. I also shared the URL earlier that you can also create your dev tenant, and it's basically for 90 days. But if you're continuously working using it, then it will automatically extend for next 90 days. And I have been using the similar demo tenant for almost over a year now. I'm going to active sites. So I'm just doing the root site collection of my tenant. I already have it open, and here we can create. I will show you that if we go to the site content here, this is the page which is created on the site. If I go to the site content, you will see different type of lists here. These type of lists are called document libraries. You can see the type is defined here, and these are called lists. Basically, these all are inheriting from a item type, which and these have different type of storage types. So these are divided as a document library and the list. Here you can see different lists are created here already by me. And if I go here, there are two types of lists here, and one is called app and one is called list. So there was these both are the same thing, but technically they might have just has changed the verbiage. And if I click on app, it will give me the option for the old list templates which were available in past. This is different now because Microsoft will continue injecting the things, and if they have, sorry for the this happens when you explain the things before opening it. So in past that Microsoft only showing up here the apps which are available in the list apps only, but now they are showing up the apps which are installed on the tenant or on the site. So if I go to the list here, it will be showing different list templates here. These are the new templates which are available, and you can also create these list templates from your Microsoft Teams also. And these, if you are at the personal level, these. So if you are at personal level, these will be shared. Just a minute, I'm just. So yeah, these are them at Microsoft Teams level, and can be created from Microsoft Teams. And now if I click on the blank list template, it will give me, allow me to create a custom list template and where I can define my own set of list items. But now for this one, I'm just going to create an issue tracking list. And if you have any queries, you can also ping me here. Actually, I just got a call and I got a little distracted to do that. So I just change the status there. So here, when I have created this template, you can see here, it already have a list of columns here created here and also have uh, some customizations on the interface here. That status column customized formatting is available out of the box now, and you can also add some customizations based using by formatting the column. If you haven't played with it, you should play around it now. I'm using this template here. I'm just calling it as issue tracker. So here we don't have any data. Let me add some queries. It is this new, and I'm just using. I'm not editing the mandatory fields. Alternate. These are the you can see that these are the lists, the default columns which are available when we just in a issue tracking list. Otherwise, if you are going to create a custom list, you need to create all these columns, and this is like this column is for the issue logged by. This comes up when someone else is logging the issue on behalf of a user. I'm just adding this information here. So you can see it's the information added here, and I can also add a sign to here. But our target is to use my Power Automate flow to process the list. So here is the list which we have created, and we have just added one item here. And similarly, for starting an workflow, we have Power Automate. Let me first show you how Power Automate looks like. Here's the Power Automate admin center where you can, even if you have a Hotmail account, and you can also open your Power Automate, and you will see custom options available out of the box and key components which you can use. And here you will see you can add, you can create the flow directly from here. From here, you can use any of the available templates from here, or you can create a blank flow, and where you will be adding your activities directly. So if we jump in back to the list here, with the list here. So let me on the assign column. If I click on this one, status. Let me add a few values here. What values we have? Log, Infosys, complete. I'm adding value here. Check it. So we have another value here now. And I'm also adding another column here. Approval comments, return tags, and allow tags. Okay, I just have added another column here, and now I'm going to, when we are creating the flow for the very first time, it only shows the flows which are added here. So I will go to the integrate here, and I can also just I have shown you that we can also create the flow directly from the from the flow admin center and also from this window. So I will go here and will create a new flow here. It will show me the the similar amount of templates here, which we can see here. And here you can see that it's showing that we can send an email when an item is added, or so how we can trigger a flow. If a flow in a SharePoint can be triggered when a new item is created, or when a document is uploaded, whatever the scenario is, or you can also create on a selected item, or we can also start a flow when an item is modified. So we are for this specific scenario, we are just using this one, that request an approval for a selected item. So I'm just selecting this out of the box process here, and but I can also use that by going to directly to the. This is the same window which I have shown you earlier for the flow here. So I can also create a new flow from here also. It also, so when I'm going to create the flow, it's asking for me for the three different connections that it will going to for the approval connection and also for the Outlook connection, which is required for sending emails and also for the SharePoint connectivity, so that the user who is going to create should have access on the SharePoint list. So I'm going to create the flow, and this is a template-based flow. It means that all the activities for this flow are already added, so you don't need to do anything on this one. So here, if I click on, you can see there are a couple of properties are added here. I'm not going in details for any of this. I am going to edit the flow here. And here you will see a couple of different properties here. The first one will show the selected item. It's the selected the URL of the site and the name of the list here. You can see there it also showing the rest of the name of the list, and I can switch the list from here also. If I'm writing a flow for different list, and when we create, and at the time when we are working creating a blank mm, new flow, we need to select these are items manually. And here it's taking some inputs from the user when when requesting for approval. That we can mark this field mandatory or can also let them optional. Here it's taking the list of the users here, and you can see the request that what will be the message here. Then this is marked as a mandatory field here. We can change it to the optional also. And this could be the name of the approvals here, which can be shared that what type of approvals are required, how many approvals are required, and also if we can also remove any of the fields here that we do not need these fields. Here approval reminder is that it happens sometime that an approval is not available to, or it missed the to approve the request. So you can send a reminder. You can also set up a reminder here when and these are the fields which will be available at the form on the list. And here you can also select the time when the reminder will be sent. And similarly, these are the inputs for the form also. When a form is submitted, the workflow will be triggered and started. And it taking the, you can see here, it taking the based on the selected ID, it taking the input from fetching the details of the item here and created some variables and performing some operations here, like approval done. It's setting to false value here, and for the initialize the approval, it's just creating a list of the approvals who have been. It's just a variable, but it will take taking the input here, which it will be using later on the session. And similarly, what will be the response time of the approval? And here, if I go to this session, here this node is actually doing the actual task for the approval. If I expand it, it will show that it is sending an email for the approval reject to the users whoever in the approvals list, which will be added on the from the form, and it's just sending the details title and an email to the user to approve, and also the link of the list item that so that they can also view the on list item. And if I click on this one, whatever the option the user have selected here from here, they either accept or reject. It will go down here. Oh, that is here. And if an email is not approved yet, or yeah, the user haven't did any action on that one, this activity will be sending the reminder. It will check that if the value is still false, then it will verify that how much is the delay, and based on that value, it will send the reminder to the user. And here it's also performing some other values that if the approval is done, it will verify that the condition, the response from the user. And in these fields are just analyzing the response. I'm not going in details for these options because we will be discussing that in later sessions. And whatever the response is either approve or reject. It's will be uh, uh, if it's approved. Oh, in the here is for the rejected. If it's rejected, it will be sending an email to the user, and if it's approved, it will be sending an output over the email. So here is the output field. What is this one? If we go here, so here is a create HTML table. These are the output fields which it's generating here. So we will be using this one. These are two output fields, but this one is adding some styles to the layout. So we cannot use in SharePoint List based on the content size, but we will use this field here. So what we need to do here, we are just doing a little customization here on the, if it's approved, I will just update the status for the, add some comments on the column which we have added. I will just select update item activity for the SharePoint List. You can see here it's showing me the update item activity. And here I will select the site. So this is what happens now, that when we selected the template based activity, it have all the values assigned. But when we are creating a new activity, we need to fill up the fields here. And here is my site URL. And this is a list which we have been using. Tracker. And here we have to get, so now you have noticed that it have fetched all the columns for the issue tracker list here. And I will add the body of the front here. So I'm just using this ID from get items. Now we need to fill up all the mandatory fields. Uh, this would be the same as I will just search it. So from get item, so we are not making any changes on the title. And one thing I'm going to change is the title to complete it, because it has been approved. And on the approval comments, I will add that HTML value for the create HTML table, this one. And similarly, let's see if it copies. One thing is that we can also come, we have created this value, and we can also update it, the value from here. And I will copying it from my clipboard. Not copying it to the action. Okay, it's not copying it here, so we need to recreate this value here. Sometimes live demos get a bit boring because the time they take. I need to fill up all the values, and this is a bit hectic when we are working, but this is something which we need to do. And here option is that we have selected the value rejected. And I will set the same value here again. So my flow is ready, and I'm just ignoring all whatever the exception is showing me up here. So now if I go back to my list here, I'm just refreshing the page here, and now when I select this one more thing, I haven't changed the name of my flow. It's just showing me that request approval by big name here. If I go here and click on automate here, it will be showing my flow here. It's showing me the full name here. So what I will do, 365 probably approval. Just changing it with the name of the event, saving it, and let's see. I have selected this list item, and I go here, and now we can also select the flow from here, and also by going here and automate and flow from here. When I click here, it will ask me for approval because I'm running it for the giving me that you need to sign in for these connections for the first time. And I will continue here. Now it asking me, giving me that form for the input. I'm just sharing the approval. And approval, I'm adding Alex. He's one of the user on the site here. And approval reminder. I'm just selecting random value here and duration. Just taking some minutes here. Run flow. So the process is executed from here, and if I go back to the flow here, you will see that a flow is running here. And the best part of the Microsoft Flow is that it show you a graphical interface where you can understand where is the flow is, and if you get stuck, if there's an well at the time of development, if you're pressing it's not working, you will see that an error is shown here, will be shown here. If I go here inside the flow, you will say that you see that it have passed all the steps here, but it's stuck here. An email has been sent, but it's waiting for the approval from the user, and the reminder activity is also in progress. That it will be sending the reminder after this, when the times come. So I will open the window for the Alex here. Let me share my. I'm sharing my just Chrome window. Let me share my full screen. Now I'm sharing my screen also. So I have signed in with Alex on a different browser, and here you can see that the username is Alex here. So if I go to the email of Alex, you can see that one email is he got an email that laptop not working. This is the title of the link and the options to approve or reject it. If I click on this one, it will show me the item details. So right now, Alex can see these details because Alex has the access on that list. If Alex do not have access, Alex will not be able to view this content details and can only approve or reject from that email. So here you can see this thing that all the information is listed here, and if Alex approves the reject, it's going to approve this request. So if there are multiple approvals, then what will happen with this template that it will everyone, all the approvals will need to approve. If anyone rejects, then it will be rejected for all. And when it submits here, you know that we have the customization, a little customization on the template that we filled up a value here. So now I will go back to the admin account, the user who submitted the request. Uh, we just, I think, got the email here. So here the ticket to pull, and you can see that it's showing in a formatted table way that approval. Alex, this is the comment, and it's approved here. And now if I go to the my SharePoint list here, so here you can see that this is not formatted, and that's why it's showing a little not in the proper shape here. But we can customize the look and feel using that to the flow also. And here it's showing the status as completed, and also showing these information that how you can do the customization. Sorry, you can have some more changes here. So these are the details that how you can create a flow and how you can associate a flow with the Power Automate here. Sorry, with the template, and you can also create a flow with the new activity. And if you want to do any customization, like here in this scenario, I have updated the column, the value of a column, and added a new column, and added the status value on this on that one. But what you can do, let's do one more thing here. That if right now a user need to go here and have to select the value here and have to start the flow. Let's add a button on the list also directly. So let me add another value here. I name it up first. Okay, so I'm not assigning this to anyone here. Let me assign it to Alex. I'm just setting some random numbers here. I'm just filling the information so that the interface will look a bit better. And also, one more thing with this list that you can also modify, you can add comments to the list later so that it can be the status values can also be tracked here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add another column here. It's a single line column. And now I will go to format the value of this column, and I will add a custom button because right now I'm going here to Power Automate here. So whenever I select an item here, I have to go here. I have to start the workflow, and it could be a possibility that there could be a number of workflows, and I might mistakenly click on some other one, or it could be strange for some of the users that they need to go here. So it's better if they can get an opportunity to directly hit the initiate the flow directly from the list item. So I'm just doing some customization, and the customization which I'm going to show you here, it's also related to the list, the column formatting here. I will going to format this column here. Sorry. format this column. It's showing already default some value here. I'm just going to I have opened another link in the tab, so you can from the some JSON here for the formatting list, SharePoint list columns. So here you can see the list of the different columns here, that what type of formatting you can do. I'm just going to this one button because there is already a format available for launching a flow. I'm just copying it here and going to the list here, and I have pasted it here. Now, one thing I need to change, that I need to change this value, so that and will replace this value with my flow ID. And to get that flow ID, I will go to my flow here. So I already have this value here. Let me go back here, and this is in top. You can see this URL here at the end of the flow. If you can see it, that this is still here all day. There's a huge at the end of, because I already have opened my flow here. So I'm just copying it from the URL here, and we'll replace the value here. That's it. I will save it now. So you can see that it changed, it added the value sent to manager. Let me change the value also. I will change it to start. Now if I go here, it automatically will start that in the approval screen here. And let me do that because we already have completed approval on this one. It is still showing the start approval link on this item also. So I think we should also try to remove this one. And one more thing, you have noticed that earlier how we were starting the workflow. I am selecting the flow here, item here, and then going to the flow. So now I'm just directly clicking on the link from here and modifying the flow here. So just showing you that how easy it is to modify the list column, do some formatting and adding links buttons here. I'm just making some changes on the size here for this one. If the status value, because we should change this. Then it will show none. Otherwise, it will show the value. I hope that the syntax for the formula is correct here. So something. Just give me a second. Let me check. Um, Give me a second. I'm just looking for the on my other screen for the correct formula, and I will update you shortly. Okay, I got it. Sorry. So here you can see. And if I click on this one, let's reject a value here, and we'll see that if we can do some further customization. Proof again, Alex, because I already have the things signed in, and I'm just running the flow. And if I open Alex here, and let's see if Alex got the email. So Alex got the email from here. Here it is. And you can see the similar email template was sent again. And here I'm return value need more detail submitting the information here. So if the email has been the process has been completed here from here, and if I go here and go to the user's email here, you will see that Alex response is rejected here, and here are the comments. And if I go back to the SharePoint list here, so the status is now rejected. So, but what I can do, I can do one more thing, that it is still showing this start approval. Instead of start approval, let me change it to the restart. Whatever the text which we can do some customization here, just like similar to this one. If like this means start approval. You request again or whatever would be the status. So the similar formula has been used because we can use these formulas for passing the information here. So this is the text content which is shown here. Because this information is the status is rejected, so it's showing it as a rejected value. So this is what I wanted to tell you about from today's session, that how we can use the SharePoint list with the SharePoint list with Microsoft Flow. So if you have any queries on this one, you can ask to me. You can send me a message over Twitter or our Teams also. So and I will be submitting the video for this session soon on my YouTube channel for the MS Tech Talk, and we'll be sharing the links on link post on LinkedIn and also on Facebook. So keep following us, and if I'm still here for next few minutes. So if you have any queries, you can reach out to me now. And next week we will be discussing about. Let me go back here. So next week we will be discussing about more details on Power Automate and SharePoint List, and our target is that we can create a Microsoft form, and because with through Microsoft form we will submit the request to SharePoint List and using a Power Automate flow. And why would need that scenario? Because I went to a couple of requests that the companies want anonymous users to submit the form, and that they need that information within a SharePoint list. Because the form's information is stored within the form, and we can export it using Excel, but they need to automate some processes based on that input information. So this can be easily done using Power Automate, and we will be doing a walkthrough demo of that in next session. And thank you again for joining the session, and we'll catch you next week.